Hey guys, Milho test, and this was a real shame actually. Really, really good drive. Examiner only gave three minor faults, said it was a solid performance, but ended up giving two major faults. Now, the second one, to be honest, the student's mind wasn't on it because they'd realized they'd failed, which I'm going to mention in a minute. Never ever do that. But yeah, their mind wasn't on it, and they got marked down for undertaking, which hasn't haven't seen that for a long time. But yeah, that I go through that, and you'll see what that is if you don't know it. And um, prior to that, there was undue hesitation going on to from Flower Lane onto Millhill Broadway, turning right towards Millhill Circus. I've gone through it, but to me, it didn't seem like there was hesitation. There was a few circumstances which, you're going to be a bit cautious. It's a driving test, and you don't want to kind of make an error. Um, but yeah, it just felt it was a bit harsh. But that's life, unfortunately. And number one rule, as I always tell my students, do not think that you have failed at any point. I can't stress that enough. That's the examiner's job to mark you guys, to to give you a pass or a fail. They're paid for that. You guys are not. You guys just have to drive. So just get the driving done. If you make an error, if you realize you've made a proper error or blunder, maybe you can just kind of just say, oh, sorry about that, and just carry on and forget about it. What's done is done. But if you think about it and ponder over it, you'll go and make another mistake, which is what happened later on. And imagine that the examiner didn't fail him on the undue hesitation, then that second fault would have been a proper waste. So yeah, keep that in mind. I hope you guys learn from it. Have a look through, and I think it's about 10 minutes in on the video, and then the second fault is about 22 minutes in. If I get a chance, I'll try and timestamp it, but I never get a chance to go and do it. So yeah, have a look through, and hope you guys can learn from the errors. Hey guys, all right, this is where the hesitation fault's gonna actually happen. This is a major fault. But I've watched the video, obviously just before starting this comment, but it seems a little bit harsh. Um, but yeah, I mean, as the student does approach later on, once we start moving, we're gonna come to the end of this road, and as the students approaching the end of this road, um, there'll be traffic lights on the left hand side on Mill Hill Broadway. They are on red. And I'll try and highlight it. You know, the camera gets blocked a little bit with this panel that I have on the windscreen, so it's a bit annoying. You can't really see the red traffic light, but you just see the bottom of the car in the left hand corner, and I'll try and highlight that. But that's on red. So as the students approaching, they need to spot that it's on a red light so that there are no oncoming cars from the left hand side, and if it's clear on the right hand side, they should be thinking about going out. Now the student hesitated, and sometimes, you know, pressure kind of makes you do that, and you don't want to make an error, so you want to make sure everything's correct. So that's where they stopped. Then what the examiner told us at the end was, when they moved out, there was a parked car in the middle of the road, and you see that it's almost like two Range Rovers, two black Range Rovers. But the student didn't really get a real opportunity to go, from what I can see. Now, the examiner told the student that they got to move on, and at that point, the student thought they failed. Just before I carry on, have a look on the bottom corner left hand side, and you'll see some tyres there on the left. You see, that's where the car is waiting at a red traffic light. This is Mill Hill Broadway. So there are no cars coming at the moment, and this is when the student should have gone. Now he stopped. As you can tell now, the student stopped because the traffic light has changed. So there isn't much time to think about whether it's changed or not. So you know, I might have, you know, erred on the side of caution there. So um, now when they move off, the problem is there's a parked Range Rover, I think it is, on the right hand side after that motorbike, and then obviously we can't go then. And as they're about to go, a car sort of does a U-turn in front of them. So you'll see that in a second. It's a bit of a mess, but to be fair, I didn't see that there was a fault. This part here, I can understand that they're waiting for a long time, but so far cars are coming left and right. The car behind, if you just saw the rear view, is just kind of given up and turned away. But so far on the main road, there is no opportunity. Now that's the one Range Rover gone past, and this is where the major kind of fault occurred. Now, if you look at this left-hand car that's reversing now, a little tiny black car, if you see now in front of us, the white car's gone, and there's an opportunity for us to go. But watch this car on the left. It does a U-turn in front of the student. So there's no opportunity for us to actually go through. And then another vehicle appears. And then after that vehicle has appeared, or gone now, another one comes. So again, no chance to go. The traffic behind is sort of piling up, but again, not our fault. And now we've gone. Now this is where the examiner apparently said you need to make a move, um, but to be honest, there was no other opportunity. So that's kind of I don't know. When I watch these videos, sometimes when the examiners have said something, it doesn't seem to tally up well enough. But it's hard because we're not there. We're not allowed to record anything inside the car in terms of sound. So I can only go on what I can see, and you know, according to what the examiner's seen, there was a hesitation. So that was a hesitation fault. So you guys can make of it what you like. I, to be honest, don't think it was a big fault. But again, I wasn't technically there. So yeah, I'm gonna go through the next fault. The next fault was actually quite funny because I haven't had one of those in years. So yeah, you can forward through later on. Okay, guys, this is where the second fault occurs, and the student's mind really wasn't on it because they had kind of realized they'd failed, which is one of my pet peeves. Which I always tell the students: do not assess yourself. That's the examiner's job. Let them do what they're meant to do. They're paid for it. You're not. Anyway, we're going around this roundabout, and as we go, it's a national speed limit route. If in the rear camera you'd see the black Porsche Cayenne coming through, and they are on the right hand side, and the golden rule is never to undertake. So anyway, that car's shot through, and the student has now realized it's a national speed limit route and literally tries to put their foot down. You'll see them pick up the pace really quickly now, trying to overtake, and this is where the examiner tells them, whoa, you can't do that, you can't undertake, and now they've backed off. So yeah, I haven't had that fault for I think I've only ever had it once, but that's years ago. And yeah, that was it. Unfortunately, that was the second fault. But again, the student knows the rules. They just their mind wasn't on it. They were telling me afterwards that they knew they failed, and I said, you know what? At the end of the day, imagine that the examiner didn't fail you on the hesitation previously. This would have been really annoying then. So yeah, just make sure you guys never think that you failed. Let the examiners do their job. They're there to pass and fail you guys. So you guys just focus on driving, and if there are any errors, just ignore them and just carry on. So that's that. Really simple. Real shame actually, because when I look back at that hesitation fault, to me it wasn't there. So yeah, really unfortunate. Apart from that, examiner only only had praises for the student. Said that literally there were only three minor faults, a really really good solid drive, and just those two faults. So yeah, hope you guys can learn from it.